People hold the power to shape and apply technology to create positive change, improve lives, and transform business and society. The pace of technology change is breathtaking, bringing about the biggest advancements since the dawn of the information age. As technology transforms the way we work and live, it raises important societal challenges and creates new opportunities. This is how we at Accenture are unpacking Tech Vision 2017.
So listen, this is a great, exciting time for us. At the same time, around the world, in all the 48 countries that Accenture operates, we're launching this Tech Vision 2017, which is kind of Accenture's way of peeking around the corner a little bit and try and predict what the future will hold in the next 3, 4, maybe 5 quarters. We've done a lot of research. We looked at all of the client bases around the world. We surveyed more than 5,500 clients, and then we spoke to our people. We are 400,000 people around the world to kind of gauge what they are doing every day as they engage with clients. And we distilled all of that back into 5 themes, and these are the 5 themes that we launched here today.
This year is technology by people for people. There are 5 trends that we will share with you that takes you through how we start to see what is happening and the call to action for business leaders and for IT leaders on how technology gets used to augment human capability. And I'm going to hand over to Rory and to Hans to talk through that.
But trend number 1 is AI is the new UI. Right? So last year, the year before, we were talking about every business being a digital business. And the way you succeeded as a digital business is you had a really cool interface, right? What we're saying is that we're starting to see the trend emerge that artificial intelligence embedded into the interface is the next step in evolution in creating a personalized customer experience. I recently read a blog about Lemonade Insurance. So imagine this. You're going from your various engagements and you drop your camera. Okay? How Lemonade works is you take a video, you talk to your phone, recording the video of what happened, where it happened, why it happened, and then all of a sudden, 3 seconds later, the money's in your account. And that's what we're starting to talk about, that AI is absolutely the new UI. In fact, the Tech Vision predicts that almost half interactions won't need a visual interface at all within the next couple of years.
Embedded in all the 5 trends is how we're starting to use various techniques of AI or Internet of Things to really allow technology to adapt to the way that people would like to engage it rather than the other way around.
So the second trend is ecosystems as macrocosms. What does that mean? The model, in fact, hasn't changed for the last 200 years, which was a very simple, very straight, very linear process. And that model's worked for hundreds of years. But now what we're seeing coming true today is the fact that that model is changing. And I'll give you a very relevant example. A lot of you may have iPhones in your pockets, but if you look at Apple maybe sort of 20 years ago, I would have a value proposition that says, perhaps, just perhaps, Apple got it wrong when they tried to do everything themselves. In the re-emergence, or maybe Steve Jobs 2.0, I think they got it very right, when they decided they'd open up and create a platform for people to engage. And the success of iTunes has been because they've created a platform for people to play in the space, not just keep it to themselves. So there's immense value, which means we have to give up what we think of the old and embrace the new.
The biggest lesson I take out of the Tech Vision report is that change is constant. As human beings, we can no longer afford to rest on our laurels saying, I have an 8 to 5 o'clock job. Those days are long gone. You need to be open to lifelong learning. You need to understand what the world of AI means to your job, to your life, to your future as well. If you're going to sit back and say, technology is for those people, those trends don't affect me, you will become irrelevant.
So the platforms that Rory is talking to, I think they're very important because they really start extending across different domains. then you can start even looking forward and you can say, well, how can I engage with a completely broader workforce? So these external markets of skills, you start doing macro jobbing. Why, if I'm doing a job, can't I hire 10 people to do the same job in a platform and pick the one I really like? So we're seeing that the entire workforce model is really being put on its head. And the prediction is that we're going to start seeing a complete pivot of the orthodoxies of hiring people versus actually just getting people in as you need them in a macro jobbing type environment.
So the title of the report is Amplify You. And I think that the title actually resonates really well with the overarching theme, which is technology for people, by people. Why this is quite important? Historically, technology has been geared for businesses, so it enhanced a business's back-end operations. Actually, what this is talking about is the fact that it's now specific around not just a customer, but an individual. What that means is that technology is working for me. So what we're seeing is that Amplify You means all the trends we're seeing make it easier for me as an individual to interact and engage with the outside world. Trend 4, designed for humans and inspiring new behaviors. I think this is a pivotal trend that we see happening right now. This trend says that technology is now being designed for humans, which is a great thing because it's for people like you and me. So what we're seeing this playing out is in investing. So if you take robo-advisors, it used to be that the robo-advisor would just give you some sort of maybe a stock pick. Then it was maybe a stock selection, and now it's actually allocation investing on your behalf, where you can set the parameters yourself.
So many companies nowadays, like Kodak, like Blockbuster, have been relegated to the history books because they've not been able to understand what it means to be leading in the new, to be innovative. And that's what we want to be able to give our corporates. And it really is now about being able to see what the trends are telling us and saying to businesses, to corporates, but also to governments and also to citizens that there are things that needs to be done differently.
So the uncharted territory really talks about, it really is a call to action to our South African businesses to say that nobody's going to solve the problem for you. If you're waiting for the legislation, you're going to miss the boat, and somebody's going to come from outside, somewhere globally, they're going to bring in a generic global user experience and they're going to eat your lunch. The call to action is to say, don't wait for the regulation, come up with a solution, engage with the policymakers and make your own destiny. So the likes of Google, Facebook, Twitter, all those digital companies, they're coming together to partner and agree standards for AI and ethical decision making. Organizations at the forefront are recognizing that they need to band together, partner together to actually define the standards which will govern their industry.
These are 5 themes that frankly is all aimed at what we see the future holding, and it's aimed at Accenture and the world that we operate in. And frankly, who knows, it could last a month or two, a quarter or two, and in 6 months you guys could say to us this is old news. But the reality is the here and now, this is relevant. We're seeing automation, we're seeing cognitive computing, we're seeing robotics, we're seeing all of this coming together very quickly with all the concerns around jobs and job creation, etc. But I reckon if we look at this and we really distill it into each one of the industries, you'll see this being really very, very relevant, not just to the global organization, but to every single industry in South Africa.